Tonight brought to you in part by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. Taste. This Bud's for you. By Giant Food, we care about quality, value, and service. We care about you. By Providence Savings and Loan, for the best combination of rates and securities in the Washington area. By CMP Yellow Pages, the one that works. By Canon Cameras, makers of EOS, the world's most advanced autofocus system. And by Amtrak's Metroliner service, the civilized shuttle.
Tonight, live from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, it's the Washington Capitals and the New York Islanders here on DC-20. Good evening, everybody. Mike Fornes, your play-by-play host, along with Al Koken. These two clubs get together for the first of a pair of games back-to-back. They'll do it again tomorrow night at the Capitol Center. Capitals are red hot right now, winning their last 3 games in a row and have passed these Islanders. The last time they met here in this building, it was New York who came away with an overtime victory. Pat LaFontaine doing the damage just 10 seconds into the overtime.
The guy who always does the damage, it seems, against the Washington Capitals. The Islanders feel good, though. They are coming off what they thought was their best game when they really shut down the Pittsburgh Penguins the other night. But it's a Patrick Division battle, and these battles seem to be tremendously high-pitched no matter who's going at each other. We had downstairs the Capitals coach, Brian Murray. And Brian, I want to ask you, do you find this year these regular season games between division opponents are even more intense in the past? And does it then take away from the teams you don't see in your division? Do you kind of let down a little bit, maybe even just by accident because you're so pitched up for the division games?
Well, the division is really, really important at this point. We've got 6 teams, all of which could make the playoffs, all of which think we're capable of finishing very high within the division. But we know full well, Al, that if you have a bad series against a particular team or against your division, you could really fall into a trap where you may not even make the playoffs. So it is critical time for all teams when you do match up. I don't think there's that much of a letdown, although the rivalries, because we don't know the oppositions, the Detroit Red Wings or the Chicago Blackhawks as well, the rivalries aren't quite the same.
Brian, tonight you'll be without Mike Gartner on right wing. What adjustments will you make?
Well, Dave Christian moves back with Ben Gustafson. Stephen Leach gets a chance to move up with Mike Ridley. Those are really the 2 moves, so it's a real opportunity for Stephen Leach to get into a position where statistically he could do better, get more opportunity to play, and have a chance of playing the power play.
Sounds good, Brian. He's been playing very well of late. We thank you for your time in visiting with us before the game tonight.
Right, thank you.
Brian Murray, the coach of the Washington Capitals, who are all set to take on these New York Islanders here at the Nassau Coliseum, and they're battling for position in the Patrick Division race. Al and I'll be back with tonight's opening face-off right after we pause for these words.
For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome back to the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. Tonight, DC-20 presents the Washington Capitals and the New York Islanders. There's Clint Malarchuk. He's starting in goal tonight for Washington. 6-7-2 in 16 games played. A 3.07 goals against average. No shutouts. He's given up 46 goals in 900 minutes, and Pete Peters will back him up. There's Kelly Hrudey. He is 6-8-2 on the year in 17 outings. 991 minutes with 57 goals against, a 3.45 average. No shutouts, and Billy Smith will be the backup tonight for Kelly Hrudey. Dan Maruelli is refereeing. The linesmen are Pat DiPuzzo and Gerard Gauthier. Dale Hunter all set to go at center against Brent Sutter. Wins the faceoff, and the Capitals take the opening draw. Here's Courtnall against the sideboards. It's bounced back into Islander territory. And now the pass comes from Conroy, rink wide, and is stolen by Hunter. Dale Hunter flips it on goal. The game's first shot on net. Hrudey is able to make the save. led up to center ice and back into the Washington zone, and Langway goes back after it, and icing is the immediate call. The Capitals missing Mike Gartner because of a sprained knee suffered against the New Jersey Devils, and Brian Murray having to do a bit of juggling as a result of that. Dave Christian and Steve Leach expected to see some additional opportunities over on the right side. Jim Thompson has been called up from Baltimore, the skipjacks of the American Hockey League, and will be filling the roster spot as Gartner is hurt. The Islanders without Jeff Norton, out with rib injuries. Pat Flatley with a knee injury. Brad Lauer has a broken kneecap, and Dean Chenault with an eye injury. They have called up Chris Pryor from Springfield of the American Hockey League on an emergency recall. Thomas Janssen with the puck now steers it up to the blue line, and the Islanders start back on the attack. It's dumped back into the Washington zone. Here's Kevin Hatcher to take it. Bumped by Bassin. Bassin out of the corner. Taken away by Hunter. And Francischetti works it off the sideboards, but Conroy bumps it right back into Washington territory. Langway leads it ahead, and Hunter sprints across the line, but is checked by Conroy. Still has the puck, throws it rink wide to the left point. Scott Stevens, a slap shot right on, and a save made by Rudy. Islanders on the attack once again. At the blue line, a poke check knocks the puck away from Dave Bollock, and now here's Courtnall with a long drive. That's caught by Rudy. And the Islanders start out. Greg Gilbert. Back to Gerald Diddick. Gustafson steals the puck, and now Rich Pilon is right on him to push it away. And the puck steered ahead to center ice, and Trottier breaks across the blue line, giving it to Gilbert. Greg Gilbert tries to throw it in front. It's wide of the net. Malarchuk flips the puck back into the corner. Taken away by Gustafson and thrown out of the Washington zone to center ice. 18:15 to go here in the first period. There's no score. Mike Forns with Al Koken here on DC 20. Malarchuk lets it go wide of the net. Stevens is back for it, and he starts out now for the Capitals. Up to Christian on the right wing. Now to Gustafson. Back to Christian. Dumps it across the line into the Islander zone. Morrow is back for it, but he's beaten to the puck. And a jam up at the side of the net. Corvo putting some pressure on there as he outskated Morrow trying to get to it. Rudy hangs on.
That's one area the Capitals really want to try and exploit against the Islanders tonight. Ken Morrow is certainly a steady defenseman, no question about that. But the knees are so bad, he has lost a lot of his mobility. Without Jeff Norton in the lineup the other night, Terry Simpson only dressed 5 defensemen, which meant that this man and Morrow had to get a lot of extra ice time. How much Chris Pryor, the 6th defenseman tonight, will play remains to be seen, but the Capitals want to keep the pressure on Ken Morrow in particular, try and wear him down, see if they can beat him by dumping the puck into his end.
The draw comes back to Hatcher, a slap shot blocked, and the Islanders come out on the attack. 3-on-2. Here's a pass ahead to King. Drops it across the line. LaFontaine walks in front. Can't get the shot away. And it's cleared from the zone by Kelly Miller. Back in New York ice, Morrow races in after it and touches the puck first. And icing is the call with 17:33 to go in period 1. There's a break in the action. The Capitals and the Islanders are scoreless. Face-off in front and to the left of Clint Malarchuk. No score between the Capitals and the Islanders. The draw comes back to the point. Here's a drive right on net. Malarchuk makes the stop, kicking aside the shot from Pryor on defense at the blue line. Ridley reaches for it, but it's taken away by King and cleared out to the point. Now the Islanders come back on the attack. LaFontaine, poke checked away. Alan Kerr, a shot right on goal, and Malarchuk makes the pad save. Off the boards now, Ridley tries to move it rink wide, and Hunter heading to the bench had the puck strike him in the skates as the Capitals were changing, and Hunter ends up vaulting over the boards. Here's a centering pass. Leach with a shot, and a save made by Rudy as Leach put it right up into that Islander emblem on Rudy's sweater. Stephen Leach has been playing some very good hockey of late and had a good scoring chance there. He's got a goal and 2 assists for 3 points in his last 3 games.
You see, as Rudy gets over, Stephen Leach stops the puck for a moment. Kelly Rudy, that is his game. That speed through the crease, excellent balance. Notice how he's down and then pops his way up. And here's the line change, and you see how Dale Hunter tries to make sure he gets on that bench. Gerard Gauthier was right there and did not make too many men on the ice call, even though that puck did hit Dale Hunter while he was still on the ice, and the man he was changing up with had already stepped on.
I'd be interested to hear the interpretation of that. That looked automatic.
Talk about all the chances Stephen Leach has had of late. He finally picked up his first goal of the season Saturday night in the Capitals' 3-2 win over the New Jersey Devils at the Meadowlands. That was the first goal Steve Leach had in 35 shots on goal. So he certainly has been getting the chances despite playing on what had been basically considered a checking line with Bob Gould and Lou Francischetti. But now Peter Sundstrom will assume the role on right wing tonight. Stephen Leach has normally been playing with his unit.
From the draw, Gould scrambles with Raimo Helminen back in the corner. Sundstrom battles now with Pilon. It's cleared out of the zone back to center ice, and Langway goes back into his own end to get it. Leads it up the middle past Francischetti and all the way down the ice, but right on net, so no icing is called. Here's Wood. Back to center. Sheehy dumps it in. Morrow off the boards, and Sheehy puts it back to the blue line of New York. And here's Helminen, again stopped by Sheehy. This time Gustafsson reaches for it, but Morrow takes over. The teams play catch from blue line to blue line, and Gustafsson is unable to get past Ken Morrow. And now, as it does finally come across the line with Ivan Korovo, the play is called offside.
Still looking for his first goal of the season as Ivan Korovo missed a chunk of time, about 2 weeks worth with a severe Charlie horse, but certainly has been playing with some good offensive people, and the chances will come, he feels. He just still needs to get a little more confidence. That first goal is going to be vital for Ivan Korovo's confidence. Once he gets that, I think things will start to fall into place, because the speed and strength still are there. He just seems to be fighting the puck just a little bit, not really sure of himself when he has that puck.
Gould works for the draw, and the puck at the blue line. Sundstrom flips it back out to center ice. Murphy sends it in. Francischetti looking for it, but it's played back up the sideboards, and Bob Basson flips the puck out to center ice. Murphy dumps it right back into New York's area. Here's Rudy behind the goal, clears it back to the corner. Volek is bumped on the play, and now Jönsson finds Basson out at center, but Murphy takes it back for Washington. Conroy at center ice. Back into the Capital zone, and here's Scott Stevens. Lead pass left wing side for Francischetti, now out to Bobby Gould. Murphy at the right point, a slap shot knocked down in front of the goal, cleared, and Volek gets a stick on it. Now Scott Stevens carries it in. Here's Stevens, poke check, and Volek starts back for New York, 4-on-2 at the blue line. The pass over to Bob Basson on the left wing. Basson tries to center, and Stevens is able to get a stick on it. Cleared back to the point. Rich Pilon walks in all the way to the goal and then shoots wide on his backhand. He never really got much of a shot off. Here's a rebound drive from out front, kicked away by the defense after Malarchuk makes a stick save. And Murphy starts back to center ice for the Capitals. He sends it back inside the Islander zone as both teams change up the lines. Rich Pilon to the corner. Mikko Makela into Washington territory, and a shot by Trottier goes wide of the mark. Now it's cleared all the way back to the Islander line. Conroy over to Morrow. The Capitals have outshot New York 4-3 so far in this game, and the Islander shots have come just recently. Washington held an advantage in the early minutes. No score. Here's Dale Hunter to the corner. Hunter tries to center, comes right out front. The Islanders take it back. Makela up to the blue line now with Trottier. Hunter gets a stick on it right at center ice. And back now to Conroy. He sends it back inside the Capital zone, and as Hatcher touches it, icing is the call with 13:43 to play in this scoreless first period. There's a break in the action. We'll return in just a moment.
Was in an area he rarely finds himself in. All this room, stick handles in. I think he can't believe nobody's challenging him. Now all of a sudden he's got to make a decision. Tries to get it on that backhand and loses control of it. Rarely see a defenseman that wide open and coming in without being challenged. I think Pilon just panicked for just a little spit.
He must have some confidence in his stick handling ability to go to his backhand in that close. Would have expected him to just wind up and drive it. But he lost the puck. No score. 13 and a half minutes to play here in the first period. Neil Sheehy out to center ice for Kelly Miller. That bounces off the boards and back inside the Islander zone. Now Langway. Up to Leach. Leach knocked down on the play by Gerald Diddick. Langway has to retreat back into his own end. Off the boards for Leach on right wing. Left wing side he goes, and Kelly Miller gets across the line, flips it in front, and Wrigley diving for the puck, gets a stick on it and directs it wide of the goal and then crashes into Rudy. Looks like nobody's hurt. Play has been stopped.
You can guarantee yourself the best seat available for all the Cap home games. All you need to do is reserve a season ticket or a partial plan for any or 10 or all of the remaining home games. It's a great home schedule with most of the remaining contests on weekends or holidays. For more information, sales representatives are standing by right now to answer your questions at 386-7000. That's 386-7000. By the way, we also understand tickets are available for tomorrow night's rematch between the Caps and the Islanders at the Capitol Center, as well as Mario Lemieux's appearance on Friday. And you can call phone charge at 432-0200 to pick up your tickets for that.
Pretty big week of hockey coming up for these Capitals. All this Patrick Division action here in the next several days, and they finish all that off to face Detroit, who's red hot on Sunday night. They've won 7 in a row.
Best winning streak in Detroit since mid-60s, 65, I think.
Since somewhere back in Gordy's era, I'm sure. Ivan Corvo throws the puck back inside the Islander zone. No score here in the first period of play. Dave Christian tries to keep it inside the Islander end, and Helmanen gets a stick on it. Now Jönsson flipping it out to Makela. The puck at center ice, and Gustafsson shoots it back inside the Islander zone. Behind the net, Conroyd hanging on to Corvo, and the puck cleared back to Washington ice. Larry Murphy to Scott Stevens. Now out to Dave Christian, and across the blue line comes Gustafsson. A break. He fires a shot and a goal. The Capitals lead 1-0. Lou Franceschetti lost his stick, or rather Corvo lost his stick in the process, and it could have been a 3-0. But Corvo was not the man who did the shooting. It was Bengt Gustafsson, and he puts the Caps in the lead.
It caught the Islander defenseman up ice. Watch the way this play developed. Well, we see the tail end of it. That's Randy Wood. He's a forward, and he's the only guy even close back there. But that little move by Gustafsson, holding onto the puck, getting a commitment not only from Wood, but Kelly Rudy. Now, here's the confusion. There's Conroyd up high, challenging at the line, and the other defenseman, Jönsson, comes across. He can't pick it up. Boom. In goes Gustafsson. Just holds on to it enough to make Rudy commit a bit and give himself an opening to shoot at. Bengt Gustafsson picking up goal number 6 on the year to give the Caps the 1-0 lead.
Time of the goal, 7:52 of the first period.
He's all right, he's all right.
Bengt Gustafsson
Washington goal, his 6th
with his 6th of the season.
Number 16, Bengt Gustafsson. The assist to number 27, Dave Christian.
Dave Christian gets an
Number 3,
assist,
Scott Stevens.
and so does Scott
Time of the goal,
Stevens.
7:52. Gustafsson, 6th
For
of the year
Gustafsson,
from Christian and Stevens.
that is his 4th
7:52.
goal this year against New York. He has 4 goals, 2 assists, and 6 points against these Islanders in just starting his 3rd game of the season against them. Diddick for New York. Out to the blue line. Now at center ice. And Grant Ledyard tips it back inside the New York zone. Rich Pilon goes back for it. Icing is the call against the Capitals.
I think this is very typical, Mike, of the way the Capitals seem to play on the road. Scott Stevens made an excellent pass on that play, but that is something he's been doing lately, but it's something that this entire team does on the road. Nobody seems to hold on to it much. They get rid of it quickly, particularly the defensemen. They don't try and overhandle the puck, which is sometimes the case at the Capitol Center, trying to make the spectacular play. You watch tonight how quickly people get rid of the puck, passing it, moving it up ahead. There's Scott Stevens with some excellent recognition, but that's typical of what Washington does when they're away from home. Seymour relaxed.
Here's Conroy to drive, and a pad save by Malarchuk. Now sent out of the zone, and Kelly Miller hustles to the red line into the New York end. Here's Miller to the corner, jammed up by Mikko Makela. Alongside to help out is Mike Ridley. Back to Sheehy. He throws it rink wide, and now the Islanders' Gilbert throws it all the way back into the Washington zone. 10:35 to play in the first period. The Capitals lead 1-0 on Bengt Gustafsson's 6th goal of the season. Malarchuk leaves it behind the net. Rod Langway to Stephen Leach. Sent back to center ice, and Sheehy throws it inside the Islander zone. Here comes Morrow. Up to center. Back into the Washington zone, and LaFontaine starts out to Janssen as he tries to keep it into Washington ice. It's sent out to center. Now Scott Stevens back to his own line. Alan Kerr gets away from him. He shoots, and he fires wide of the net. A delayed penalty call coming up. This will be against Washington. It's a 2-minute minor penalty for hooking coming at 10:20 of the first period. There's a break in the action with a score. The Capitals 1 and the Islanders 0.
Gibson on his way for the Capital goal had trouble getting control of the puck this time, and Alan Kerr was right on him. As Kerr makes the move in, Scott uses the stick to hook him a little bit, throws Kerr off stride and shoots wide. The penalty for hooking comes at 10:20.
On the power play, the Islanders have Raimo Helminen against the sideboards. Now brings it to the point man, and it gets away from blue liner Rich Pilon, who has to chase it back into his own zone. The Islanders 11th in the National Hockey League on the power play at 22%, while the Capitals are 14th in the league while shorthanded at 77%. Gerald Diduck into the corner for Raimo Helminen. Helminen back to Diduck, a slap shot. That's deflected up into the seats. I think the Nassau Coliseum is the first building that I can think of off the top of my head around the league that has the exact same height to the glass everywhere. Both ends, in the corners, behind the players' benches, the penalty box, the same height of glass all the way around.
And boy, do the players love it, particularly the defensemen, because they can just blast the puck off the glass and get it out. And I think goaltenders, now that they're handling the puck more, really like it as well, because it really helps them keep the puck in and not get those delay of game penalties. I think the Capitol Center is talking about doing that as well, and also replacing the type of glass. This doesn't get those scuff marks from the puck.
Here's Langway putting it right in front of the net, getting it to Gustafsson, and he clears to the point, but not out. Now Janssen keeps it in. Kelly Miller steals and clears and pushes it back out to center ice. Conroy across the blue line, drops it off for Trottier. Rink wide into the corner. Mikko Makela in after it, but Langway beats him to it. Here's Rod Langway for Washington, picks an opening and clears it all the way down. 45 seconds to go in the Scott Stevens penalty. The Capitals lead 1-0. Stevens off for hooking. Bobby Gould hustles ahead on the right wing, breaks in and can't get away from Janssen, and he's knocked to the ice by Janssen in the corner. Now Trottier pokes it off the backboard. It's picked up by Janssen. Thomas Janssen to center ice, goes left wing side, and Sheehy takes out LaFontaine at the blue line, allowing Grant Ledyard some time to get the puck. He clears it all the way down. Time for one more Islander rush here. 10 seconds to go in the Stevens penalty. Ledyard steals, flips it out to center ice. Pilon has it. Back into Islander ice now for Helminen. That ends the penalty to Stevens. He's on for Washington, and the Capitals are again at full strength. No! Mick Vukota up to Raimo Helminen. Hustling across the line, but Franciscetti slows him down. Now Vukota tries to center, and Grant Ledyard gets it in the corner and clears it the length of the ice. This will be icing as Pilon goes back for it. The Capitals wanted a line change anyway. The faceoff comes back to the Washington zone.
Brian Mary talking to his club while on the ice. Mick Vukota and Neil Sheehy exchanging some words. See if that heats up a little later on in the contest. First shift for Mick Vukota certainly has the attention of Neil Sheehy. Stay tuned for part 1 of a DC 20 special immediately following tonight's game. It's an in-depth look at JFK's assassination and the trial of Lee Harvey Oswald. It's called On Trial, Lee Harvey Oswald. You can catch all the exciting conclusion of this tomorrow night at 8 p.m. as this special continues live right here on DC 20.
The face-off will be in front and to the left of Clint Malarchuk. Islanders get the draw. Here's Pilon at the left point. Fires in front. Stevens is able to block it. Tries to get rid of it, then covers it up. And Vukota tries to pry it free, and Stevens didn't like that one bit. They start to push and shove, and Mick Vukota being restrained by linesman Pat DiPuzzo, and a good job done by DiPuzzo of keeping him out of it.
Yeah, but I think a punch that Mick Vukota tried to throw at a Capital caught DiPuzzo.
He may have gotten hit. Now Hunter is holding Pilon away, and Gerald Diddick seems to be the object of Stevens' attentions. So we'll have penalty calls coming here at the 12:55 mark of the first period. We'll report them to you when we pick up the action once again after these messages. Capitals lead the Islanders 1-0.
First period, the Capitals holding on to the 1-0 lead. Now we get the penalty calls.
Islanders penalty number 38, Mick Vukota, 2 minutes each for roughing. Time of the penalty is 12:55.
I thought all this started with Mick Vukota and Larry Murphy. Take a look at it. Stevens is down. You'll see Vukota try and pry this puck out from underneath him. Now watch Larry Murphy do the good job. First Hunter, now Murphy gets in there. As he gets after Hunter, does Vukota. Now watch the sticks come up, swings go at Larry Murphy. Stevens then comes in one more time, but I don't think Vukota even really got much going with Scott Stevens, more with Hunter and Larry Murphy, and a punch that Vukota threw caught linesman Pat DiPuzzo.
Well, Stevens down there trying to cover that puck knew there was problems upstairs and could see all the skates moving around him. So when he got up, he was ready to go. But it just turns into a pushing match. And each player gets roughing minors at 12:55 of the first period. No manpower advantage for either side. Coincidental minor penalties. Grant Ledyard over to Kevin Hatcher. Now Dale Hunter flips it across the line past Courtnall. Fruity sends it off the glass. John Druce winds up, fires a shot just wide of the Islander net. Dave Volek picks up the rebound and starts out to center. Brent Sutter, the Islander captain, dumps it back in. We have a penalty call coming up against New York. A delayed call. It's 2 minutes for tripping. And the time of this one will be 13:46. There's a break in the action. Caps lead 1.
Time for our first Circuit City Power Play contest. Contestant number 1, William Bachman of Baltimore, Maryland. William has chosen Bengt Gustafson as the Caps player to score in the power play. If Gus scores, William receives a video or stereo unit courtesy of Circuit City.
Power play hockey now for Washington as Chris Pryor is in the penalty box for tripping at 13:46. Washington's power play rated 5th in the NHL at 25%. And the Islanders in killing off penalties at 76%, only 19th in the league. So the odds favor the Capitals to score here with the extra man advantage. Diddick fires it off the glass, and it takes a wayward bounce from the corner where the door is, and it's sent all the way down. Kevin Hatcher pokes it across the line, back into the New York zone. And Diddick finds an opening and clears it off the boards all the way down the ice. 1 minute, 5 seconds to go in the Washington power play. Ledyard drives it in. Gustafson in behind the goal looking for the puck. It's bounced over to the corner, and now Ridley has it for Washington. Mike Ridley with 5 power play goals in the season. Tries to center. It's cleared the length of the ice again by the Islander penalty killers. Dave Christian has 6 power play goals this year. Dale Hunter with 4. And Jeff Courtnall with 4 power play goals. Here's Leach to the corner. Throws it behind the net, but Morrow's right there to get it. The pass was a soft one, and it's cleared all the way down. Now Hatcher starts back for the Capitals. 19 seconds left in the power play, and Courtnall tries to go to the net, but leaves Diddick some room to take the puck, and he does. Right to Hunter, though. Here's Dale Hunter. Out to Kevin Hatcher. A slap shot. Blocked. And a nice block there by Rich Pilon. Ledyard. Rink wide for Hatcher. Out to Leach on right wing. Penalty's over. Pryor's back. The Islanders at full strength. Pat LaFontaine over on the right wing for Diddick. Diddick gets across the line. Thomas Janssen winds. A drive is off the skate of Langway. Now King tries to center it. That's through the goal mouth. Janssen over to pick it up. Walks toward the Washington goal. Fakes and shoots. And it's knocked down in front of the net. And the puck covered as Pat LaFontaine, I think, was hit by the puck. And then Malarchuk reached down and picked it up to stop play. Both clubs at full strength. There's a break in the action. Washington leads 1-0.
Clint Malarchuk, Pat LaFontaine, and Bobby Gould to take the face-off. 3:47 left in the period, with the Caps on top of the Islanders 1-0.
From the draw, King leans in for it, tries to take it away from Langway. On the backboards, here's Alan Kerr. Lou Francischetti breaks up the pass, which was intended for Morrow. Starts down the left wing side, drops it off for Bobby Gould. Gould hustles into the corner, takes it behind the net, tries to backhand it in front, but LaFontaine breaks up the play. And Rudy is able to grab the puck, and now Francischetti gets in there and starts to push and shove with Ken Morrow, and also with the Islanders' Derek King. And the linesman right in there to break it up.
The ultimate team player, Lou Francischetti, stepping in there because he thought his teammate, Peter Sundstrom, had gotten whacked unnecessarily after the whistle. Went in there with 3 Islanders, and that's what got that scuffle started.
Francischetti has been going great guns since his recall from Baltimore, the American Hockey League. Now has points in 5 straight games. 2 goals and 3 assists for 5 points during that time. Overall, he's a +3, which is the second best on the team. And still doing the digging. That is the Lou Francischetti trademark. Points, a pleasant bonus. Here is Neil Sheehy, a shot that's blocked. It hit Conroy, and he's hurt it. Or rather, it hit Pryor. And Pryor's all bent over now on the ice, and the linesman standing by as trainer Mark Aldridge comes out to have a look at it. Pryor just called up under emergency conditions from Springfield. He might be headed for the hospital under the same conditions.
As if the Islanders need more injuries to their defense corps with Janouth and Norton out. They were thinking about bringing up Jeff Finley or Sean Evans from their Springfield team, but both of those guys are injured. So Chris Pryor was the guy who got the call.
Pryor came aboard the Islanders organization from Minnesota. He was involved in that trade for Gord Dineen. Went to the University of New Hampshire. I think this one might have caught him at the top of the shin pad, just below the edge of the pants. He's all right. Gets back up, skates under his own power.
Well, the Caps return home tomorrow night for a great Thanksgiving weekend doubleheader. Begins with the Caps and these same Islanders at 8:05 tomorrow night. All fans, by the way, receive an official NHL puck commemorating the Caps' 15th anniversary in the league. Then Friday night, the Pittsburgh Penguins take on the Caps, also at 8:05. And all fans 16 under receive a Caps painter's hat. Tickets are available at all Hex Ticket Center outlets, or call phone charge 432-0800 or 1-800-448-9009. Operators on duty until 10 p.m. tonight.
Play underway back inside the Washington zone, and Rod Langway turns around and flips it to center ice as we have 3 minutes remaining here in the first period. Randy Wood brings it over to Raimo Helminen. At the blue line, Janssen keeps it in play. Now Helminen back in the corner. Ridley's there to tie up Makela. And Sheehy drops Wood right in front of the net. Here comes Stevens up to the center ice line. Now to Ridley inside the Islander zone. Checked along the sideboards. There's going to be a penalty call here as Johnson was hooked by Ridley, and Stevens goes to pick it up, and that will bring us the whistle, as the Islanders had pulled their goaltender, and Stevens fires at the length of the ice into the New York net. Time of the penalty call, 17:38 of the first period. 2 minutes for hooking.
Washington penalty number 7.
Right at center ice, Mike Ridley has the puck taken away by Thomas Johnson, rather, and pulls him down to the ice. 2:22 left in the period, so the Islanders with a chance late in this stanza to get the equalizer on the power play.
Trottier is out there for New York. LaFontaine has dropped back to play the point along with Pilon, while Didick will occupy the left wing slot. Makela is on the right side. Capital penalty killers, Scott Stevens with Kevin Hatcher. Gustafson with Miller. Cleared all the way down. Kelly Miller, the lone forechecker, in. And Didick starts out. Right wing side for Trottier. Across the blue line, around Scott Stevens and centers, but there was Hatcher to swat it away with his stick. And now Stevens clears it from the zone all the way back into New York ice. A minute and a half to go in the penalty. Scott Stevens with a very good performance against the New Jersey Devils the other night in the Capitals' victory. He's been struggling lately, and the other night against the Devils had his first plus game in the plus-minus column. A lot of people don't hold a whole lot of credence in plus-minus statistics, but when you're struggling like Scott had been, the numbers really don't lie. But Scott hopes to be on his way back now and had a strong game against the Devils. Stevens certainly not the only Capitals player who is well into the minus column. Here's Conroy going back to get it. A minute 10 to go in the period. 45 seconds left in the penalty. Langway gets a piece of the shot as it's cleared back inside the Washington zone. Malarchuk up the sideboards, and we're in the final minute of play in the period. Sundstrom clears it all the way down. Here's Conroy to come back. 30 seconds to go in the penalty. Malarchuk makes the stop. Langway again sends it over everybody's head and all the way down the ice. Prudy with a quick pass back out to center to Conroy. Dumps it back into the Washington zone. Gerard Gauthier, the linesman, takes a spill right in front of the Capitals bench. Out of the zone comes Christian now for the Capitals. I think Gauthier hit his head when he struck the ice, and he's moving very slowly out there as the seconds tick down. The penalty's over. Ridley's out of the box. Only 13 seconds left now in the period. Helminen drives it back into the Washington zone. Scott Stevens with 4 seconds to play winds up and fires all the way down the ice, and that will end tonight's first period. Shots on goal in the first period. New York with 6 and Washington with 5. And the only goal from Bengt Gustafson, his 6th of the season, to give the Capitals a 1-0 lead. More hockey coming up after these messages here on DC 20.